A police investigation outside the Springfield Hells Angels clubhouse.
Fox 40's Rowena Shaddix spoke with members of the infamous biker group who said they were not there to cause problems.
The Hells Angels are possibly the most well-known motorcycle organization in the world, or should I say infamous. Ever since they formed in 1948, they have been inviting controversy, running afoul of the law and making all kinds of mischief they would be ashamed to tell their mothers about. Despite their image as troublemakers, they are rule enforcers. Anyone who wishes to wear the official Hells Angels vest must follow a rather detailed set of rules, and woe to anyone who believes they are above the law. Here are 15 brutal Hells Angels rules that are absolutely mandatory. Number 1. You must be voted in. This one makes some sense. You can't just let assure you are entirely dedicated. There are also many prerequisites, such as having a similar personality, riding a specific motorcycle, and being able to ride your bike wherever and anywhere. Are you still interested? That's too bad. The website states, if you have to ask, you will probably not understand the answer. That essentially says, don't call us, we'll call you. Members who have been fully patched have voting rights and are expected to use them. They want to ensure the potential new member understands that the club comes before anything else. It is not a simple task. Number 2. It's not a sisterhood. There's a good reason why people refer to it as a brotherhood. Although women are essential to the smooth operation of the club, only men are allowed to join as members. Sorry, ladies. Women who are wives or girlfriends are called old ladies. Even when traveling, women spend much of their time with their partners. In the early days, ladies were club requires. Number 3. No law allowed. Doesn't this one go without saying? You can't expect this group to accept the law, as in law enforcement officers. That's true. If you're a cop, a jail guard, or even a security guard, you can't join the Hells Angels because of a conflict of interest. The bizarre thing is that despite their actions, they are not universally seen as a criminal organization. The United States sees them that way, with cops pestering the club to the point where members have filed a lawsuit. British Columbia, on the other hand, has not designated them as a criminal organization, although law enforcement has raided their clubhouses.
A massive raid on the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club on Messer Street in Providence yesterday afternoon.
And the president of the local Hells Angels was in court just a short time ago. Police say.
Number 4. Always a Hells Angel. The HAMC's eyes. In his book Hells Angel, Sonny Barger describes how cops used to mock bikers for their mile-long procession during the funerals of slain members, but that is now regular practice practically everywhere. However, the group admits that some members have been forced to withdraw due to legal issues. Other members have been kicked out for violating the club's rules. According to the Duluth News-Tribune, some of these individuals feel that being expelled is insufficient punishment and have had their Hells Angels-themed tattoos removed. Some members have resigned and been ordered to return anything bearing the Hells Angels name or death head emblem. One of the most well-known examples is George Christie's retirement. The former member stated his reasons for leaving and believed he departed on good terms with the club. However, Christie was astonished to learn that he was no longer in good standing and was instead out bad. As a result, he lost all touch with men who used to consider him a brother. Number 5. According to the Hells Angels website. In this manner, motorcyclists are not always forced to resort to violent intimidation. The gang strongly prevents anybody else from wearing their symbol, and most people follow the regulations, whether they are afraid of legal penalties or don't want to get beaten up. According to Sonny Barger's book, Hells Angel, The Life and Times of Sonny Barger, members are willing to fight to the death for their club and the emblems that signify it. So if someone is seen wearing a patch without being a member, he will probably get kicked in the buttocks. The Hells Angel logo and Death Head's winged skull insignia are proudly displayed on the vests and jackets of HMC members practically everywhere they go. The Hells Angels, according to Sergeant Jacques Lemieux, a Canadian police expert on motorcycle gangs, wants everyone to know they are a part of the world's most powerful biker club. Even if the bikers were not eager to flaunt their symbols, The HAMC requires its members to wear their patches, and considered for membership, you need to own a Harley-Davidson. This brotherhood is a way of life. One aspect is the style of motorcycles that its members ride. If you want to be considered, you must have one of these bad boys. It's an investment, but it's necessary. The ownership of Harley-Davidson motorcycles is ingrained in their culture. They have been riding these bikes since they were introduced to the public and have a tremendous amount of brand loyalty. When the organization was first started, Harley-Davidson was selling inexpensive motorcycles that were simple to maintain, and the name Harley-Davidson just stuck. Number 7. If one member gets pulled over, all members pull over. One for all for one is the guiding principle for the Hells Angels, just as it was for the Musketeers. They must abide by the rules of the land regardless of whether or not they choose to do so. This implies that if they are observed driving or behaving in a manner that violates the law, they have the same probability of getting pulled over as of insinuation than you are to believe that it's meant to be a show of solitary. However, in all actuality, it is intended to be a show of solitude. Number 8. Don't do drugs. Let's be honest, the Hells Angels do not have a sterling reputation for moral rectitude. Throughout their existence, they have consistently caused problems for their company. Surprisingly, however, the distribution of illegal narcotics is not one of their primary lines of business. The Hells Angels maintain a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to using illicit substances, in contrast to other motorcycle gangs that have been closely identified with the drug trade to the same extent as they are associated with bikes. It is highly banned for members to use or sell them, and if they are detected doing either, they will have their membership terminated immediately. Number 9. Don't talk to the press. If you are a member of the Hells Angels, there is a rule that states you are not allowed to speak with any media. While this is a worry for Hells Angels, the organization also does not want anyone representing the club when they do not have the legal authority to do so. Club members are the only people allowed to know how things work behind the scenes. Number 10. Be nice. Make no mistake, the Hells Angels are not the type of guys you want to mess with. But while their image isn't just for show, they aren't necessarily the huge, awful threats to society they're portrayed as. All members are supposed to respect and love the other members of their charter. Many charters also require members to express love and respect to the outside world by participating in charitable activities. There's also the fact that they have a zero-tolerance policy for sexual assault and violence against women. They may not be many people's image of model citizens, but the rest of the world would do well to follow their lead in several aspects. Number 11. The code of silence is they recognize that some members may engage in illegal activity. As a result, no members are permitted to mention these outside activities inside the club or in any way that would ruin the MC's reputation. Christie argues that law enforcement organizations classify the club as illegal since targeting the entire organization is more accessible than individual members. If this is the case, it's simple to see why, given how difficult it is for police to penetrate the Hells Angels, according to the Review Journal. Strict norms, such as the club's structured hierarchy and stringent controls, have built highly effective barriers to law enforcement. Number 12. Don't join another club or gang. The Hells Angels want their members to be, above all, faithful to the group. As a result, just as they do not want their members to take oaths to serve the law, they do not want their members to be loyal to another group. Previously, the HAMC did not allow their members. Number 13. Thousands of miles to go. You'll be putting in the miles because the Hells Angels are a motorcycle group. Every year, they ride around 12,000 miles together, according to the Hells Angels MC website, and everyone is required to ride along. You must be prepared to ride with the gang at any time. Not only must the members ride, but their old ladies may also be required to ride in the back seat. What's the point of these rides? That depends, but you wouldn't join a chess club and never play. Riding simply comes with the territory. It would help if you also keep your bike in good functioning order. Number 14. Secrecy and silence. As a Hells Angel, it is both a written bylaw and an unspoken rule that you do not divulge any information about another member. Their website unequivocally declares, "We do not answer questions about members, including the missing ones if you catch our drift." The only people who know what is going on in the inner club are regulations as well. Expect there to be repercussions if you choose to act in that manner. Anyone who treats the club's rulebook as though it were open for interpretation is inviting difficulties on themselves. The harshness of the consequence will be determined by the specific rule they broke and the degree to which they broke it. Rule violators have been known to have their tattoos removed by having them burned, or they have been expelled from the group. They don't need to worry about attempting to stay in touch with any of the other members at all. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell notification. And while you are still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more quality content.